Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. It has been a little while since we had a video. I've been so busy. I know that's what I always say, but it's true. You may remember a while back, I made a journal where I said I'm just gonna go wild and use the entire fabric pack that I had sold. I can link that video. I enjoyed going back and watching it again, and I did end up selling that journal, and I don't regret selling it, but I missed the cardboard butterfly on the front. I kept thinking about that, and I thought, you know what, I just need to recreate that feel or whatever, and I'm probably gonna add more trim to this. But let's just flip through and I will show you. It's similar to the other one. You can open it up, and this is corrugated cardboard under here. I may come along and paint some of this or distress it. In fact, that's part of the plan, but you know me, I get sidetracked sometimes and don't get back to things for a little bit. We have the fabric ruffles, all these layers of fabric, and there is some cardboard under this layer, and just a little bit of, I like to have fun with colors. Oh, I don't think that's the same color. But I just used one of my gelatos to put a little bit of color on the corners of this fabric. And then getting inside, this journal is very bright. I love it. This is just a card made from paper scraps and a little sketch on the front with a blue ink pen that I normally don't use a blue ink pen. And this is from a snippet roll, this pocket. I've been just working on snippet rolls when I come out here and I'm not sure what I want to do. And I add things to them, like even this flower petal that's just laying here on the desk. I have a box over there next to the sewing machine on the floor where I just throw it in. Fabric flowers. I love this bird fabric. There's more of this in here. I bought some of this not too long ago at Joann's. It's an outdoor fabric, but this bright print with the birds, I just couldn't pass it up. This is a page from a calendar that I fell in love with and bought. It was already out of date, but the artwork in it was really fun. And I cut out the pieces of paper from the calendar that have who the person is, who it's depicting, because it's a painting, obviously, and then who did the illustration. So I like to keep up with that. I did end up writing some of the same quotes in here. Love yourself, be yourself, keep a daily journal. You can see there's a lot of room to add to this journal. Little spaces where you could write, just glue in little note cards or whatever. This I did in 2021. I love this painting. It was just done with different kinds of stains and ink, and I probably had a pencil or pen or something out too. And I've mentioned I'm trying to get all of the rogue things that just float around out here into journals so that they're where I want them to be. So that is actually just glued in there. I have digital copies of that. And then this is a pretty piece of wallpaper back here, and a belly band with a large piece of lace. There's another one of those quotes, become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. And that's a little page I had created for a journal that I was going to do, and I think I ended up not using this page. Never take action when you're angry. There's a stamp. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. When declaring your rights, don't forget your responsibilities. There's another page from that same. I was working on a book project. You can see these are the same size. And I was using the same color palette, but these two cards ended up being a little dark for what I was doing, just not bright enough for what I was thinking. So I believe I pulled some of the cards, or little pieces of watercolor paper, and used them in a different project. Oh, and of course there's more of that bird fabric. And then another calendar page. So somewhere in my workshop is the piece of paper with the artist and who this is and the quote that was with it. I had so much pulled out on the floor the other day when I was working on this, I lost that piece of paper in here. So when it shows up, it's going to be glued to the page. This is packaging that I think my friend Jay reused. Maybe it came to her or something. Jay, you can comment if I'm wrong about that, but then Jay sent me something and I just love that, so I ended up putting that in the book. And we've got the gold trim, And I don't know if you noticed, but sewing these pages in, instead of doing 2 pages per one fabric strip, I just did one and sewed the edge of it in there. So I may like this better. See, you have 2 different types of fabric side by side on every page and not just every other page. But that's just a pretty piece of scrapbook paper. And of course on this side we've got the packaging sewn over the top. That's a pretty leaf that I found out here. I don't remember getting that, but it's very heavy. It almost feels like metal. I know it's not. I sewed through it. But it's just very sturdy, and it's got that gold glitter on it. That's where I took apart a print that I just didn't really, not a print, well, it's a painting I did. And it was kind of large, like maybe 10 by 13. Because you can see I've only torn the corner out. I don't know, maybe it was not quite that big. I think it was bigger than 8.5 by 11 though. And I've just torn it up in pieces to use for projects. That's a drawing and painting I did a couple of days ago. And I love this. That's from a painting. That's from a painting from like 2000 and maybe 2014, something like that. And the original painting, my second son has it. He had it hanging in his nursery when my first grandchild was born. So that's from it, and that's from it. I just cut them out of a digital copy that I made and put them in here. And then fabric ruffles, there's another page from the calendar, and beautiful old stamps and pom-pom trim. So you can see there's room to add more things. I put a pocket here, more of the bird fabric. There's a piece of the handmade paper. And then we've got this pocket, more artificial flowers. I think just gluing layers is so much fun. None of this really, it ties together, even though it wasn't meant to start out that way. Even though it didn't start out with being meant for that. I am still, this cup, this is my first cup of coffee. I don't think I'm fully awake yet. But I thought I would come out here and check in with everybody because it's been so long. That's an old, just a little, I think that started from a gel print, honestly. And then I just drew that little face on top. That was just a quick art project. And that was from 2021. I think that was the very first print I used for my Patreon when I started it the first time back in 2021. And then there's another old photograph that is not glued down in case I want to take it out. It's in the little photo corners. And see you on the other side. I wrote that again because I had done that in that previous journal that I sold. It just really makes you stop and think because obviously this person would be long gone and no one is here to stay. And then this is just a fun art thing I did a couple of days ago. I drew a perfect circle around a cup and then just put a face in it. I wanted it to look kind of abstract, and I don't know, it reminds me of Wilson in Castaway. And then this is a little pocket. That's a piece of fabric I purchased at a thrift store. It was already rusted like that. And this is a little fabric flower that Jay made from some of the Shindy rug scraps. There's a pocket here that we could put things in. And actually right now I've got a postcard Jay sent to me, the dearest spot. And I love that. I want to give them hats or something. So I put that in there. Maybe we'll leave it so that they're kind of peeking out. There's another one of the flowers Jay made, and there's a pocket here because I'm sure I'm going to need it. You might remember this little drawing. I don't even remember when I did that. That was probably 2021 as well. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to put that over here. Because I remember asking everybody if they liked it better when she didn't have the pipe or after I gave her the pipe. Most people liked her better without the pipe, but I like the pipe. Anyway, like I said, I'm just trying to get things consolidated out here. And this is fun. This is not done yet. That's just taped in to be a little flip out. And here's more of the snippet roll that I was working on. You can see it's bright and fun and interesting. I don't always go that bright. Maybe I do. Maybe I think of myself as not being bright, but then I end up using a lot of colors. I don't know. What do you think I am? I love this bright fabric back here. That's the inside of the whole journal. And then this piece of fabric is glued down to hold the signatures in with tacky glue, a nice layer behind the whole piece of fabric here. But this, so you just take fibers. In this case, I had a couple of pieces of yarn and then a piece of, maybe that's 2 pieces of cotton, just strips like muslin or something, and then just a wad of threads from the sewing machine. And I glued those down, not with a tremendous amount of glue, but enough to hold it. And then I came back and started painting with acrylic paint. So you can just keep painting and build up a really textured page and add other things to it. And then here we are at the back. I'm probably going to put a fabric ruffle here that you can see. And you can see the cover. Now I love cardboard because you can, the cover, it's so easy to fold along these flutes or tubes in there when you use them running this way, because you can just kind of make that fold wherever you want to. I knew some of these pages were going to be bigger than the journal cover, and I like that. That was done intentionally. So I just love the way this turned out, and I'm going to keep adding to it. But like on this page, if we wanted to add, and we won't close this up, but oh goodness, there's paint right at the top. Hang on, let me get a brush. You can just keep painting this texture. See how neat that looks? So we could go ahead and you go ahead and paint the whole thing. If you wanted to, you could put enough paint to really give it some texture. And you know what? That's pretty too, just like that. If you let that dry, there's something about paint, the acrylic paint. If you do leave like puddles of it and stripes of it or strips of it or whatever, and just let it dry like that, there's something really satisfying about having that on a page. Let's try to make a line there. There we go. Ooh, I don't want to mess it up already. So textured. I wonder if we would want to let me try something here. Believe it or not, I'm going to add a little bit more paint, or a lot more paint, so that we have a layer that's deep enough to hold something. I want to try putting some mica on this page, if I can find it. I think it's over to my right in a drawer. And my friend Robin sent me the mica. This is just natural mica that she got from where she lives. I think you can just find it. And it peels apart like that. Isn't that very cool? So I wonder if we just press some down. That's why I wanted a thick enough layer to really hold it. It crumbles. Let's just crumble some into the, that's used, look at, I don't know if you can see the glitter that leaves behind. It's used in cosmetics and all sorts of things. I don't know that you would want to breathe in a bunch of it, but And get that to lay very, very flat. And hope that it's just one layer. Maybe I'll go around the edge a little bit. All right. I like that page. So I'm going to put that to the side. We'll hang on to that. We might use that for something else. Well, I'm sure we will. So that is all for this video. Obviously, I'm not going to close this. I'm going to lay it flat over here to the side. And I do have another journal to show you. I'll show you in the next video. It's the journal I made from the May pen pal, and all the orders are on their way. I printed the labels, and then there was a day delay because I was out of packaging tape. I ran out, so I had to get some more, and I think that fell on a Sunday, the day that I went to get packaging tape. So the mail doesn't run on Sunday, even if I take it to the post office. But anyway, everything, you should receive it soon. Everything is long gone. And thank you so much for ordering. And the new zines are available. They're on the Ko-fi site right now. I was going to say I'll show you one, but it's in the house. I don't have one in front of me. But they're really cute this month. And I think I'm going to put a clip here at the end of this video to show you how loud the cicadas are here and how many we have had. You can see in this picture my workshop, and every day Jason has cleaned it off, and he's not spraying away live cicadas. It seems like when we come out in the morning, the building is covered, and it's covered with cicadas that have crawled out, and they're waiting to be formed enough or ready to fly away from those shells. They're just everywhere. They're all sitting on top of their shells. And then by the evening, it's just shells left behind. And Jason's been spraying things off in the evenings, and then we come out and it's like this again the next day. I think it has finally died down a little bit, but I'm not sure because it's rainy and has been raining, and I think they slowed down during the rain. But it's been pretty interesting to see the cicadas, but I'm over it at this point. I'm ready for them to be done with their noise, and it's just a dull roar all the time now. It's going to feel very odd to come out and not hear anything after they're done. All right, I'm going to say bye for now, and then I'll put the clip at the end of the video. I'm going out into the workshop. Can you hear the cicadas? That roar is cicadas, and it's been going on for days now. It was quieter yesterday because of the rain. If you look at the ground, there are holes everywhere where they've crawled out. And it's not happening now because it's wet, but when it's dry, you can hear these leaves crackling and moving and come out here, and there are cicadas everywhere. So Jason cleaned this off last night, just last night, and it is already getting covered again. It's really crazy.